Is red meat actually dangerous for us, or are we being lied to?
Foods that increase cancer risk. Red meat.
Red meat is bad for you, right? And it should be avoided at all costs. But actually, it's an essential part of the human diet.
Do you know what else red meat provides us with? Red meat provides us with colon cancer.
Could eating red meat help you fight cancer? A recent study published in the journal Nature found that when transvasinic acid, a fatty acid found exclusively in milk and meat of ruminant animals and in human milk, helped reprogram cytotoxic T cells in a way that could fight cancers. Yes, the researchers actually say.
And that is our current state of social media. It is very easy to get confused. So let me clear the confusion in this video. I'm Gous. I've transformed over 80 individuals get fit and healthy. I'm also the author of the book, The Philosophy of Fat Loss. Now, before we start blaming food, let's take a step back. All human food, everything that we eat, can be categorized into two, which is animals and plants. Meat, eggs, dairy, all of those are animal based, and fruits, vegetables, legumes, lentils, all of that plant-based. But here's the thing, they are not just different, they follow completely different survival strategies. And if you want clarity on food, you need to understand how these foods defend themselves. Now, every living thing just want to do two things: survive and reproduce. Now that's not philosophical, that's logic. That's how they don't go extinct. So naturally, both animals and plants have their own defense mechanisms. Animals, they run or they fight back. Well, the plants, they cannot really run or fight, so what they do is they attack you chemically. It's more like bitter taste, anti-nutrients, toxins, or straight up poison. And just because something looks natural doesn't mean it's safe. Nature is full of defense chemicals. Now, in order to understand if red meat is really harmful for us, we need to understand the defense mechanism of the animal that we are getting the red meat from. If the animal's defense system is just fight or flight, that means the defense system also dies when the animal dies, which means there is no chemical warfare when you're eating a steak. Red meat consumption for humans is extremely safe. Now I know what you're thinking. You must be thinking, like, what about WHO? They have classified red meat as a carcinogen, which means it causes cancer. Guys, it's 2025. Everything is a carcinogen. Plastic, pollution, seed oil, sunlight, meat, everything. And you, a common man who is sitting at home, don't really understand what kind of narratives being pushed on by the people who are actually in the power. There is a very big reason why Trump pulled out of WHO. That wasn't random. But here's an interesting fact. You know what cancer cells actually feed off of? What is the food that they need to grow? That's glucose. And guess how much glucose you will get by eating a steak? Zero. Me personally, I'm trying to learn how to do content, and one thing about short form content is that it has to hook viewers, that you stop people from scrolling. So you have to say something like red meat causes cancer, because now you're scared and now you'll watch the entire video. Which is why a lot of people are making these videos saying how red meat is so dangerous. It's not. God has created this perfect synergistic cycle from sunlight to grass to animal to us humans. So you don't have to fear red meat. If anything, you should be afraid of the foods that come from plants, like sugar, seed oils, and all the processed junk. Anyway, this video is not to tell anybody to start eating red meat, but this video is to tell people that you don't have to fear red meat if you planning to eat it. But I also do understand all the scientific studies that you will look at. Most of the scientific studies are observational studies, which means they observe a group of people who are consuming red meat. But people who are consuming red meat, they are consuming it in the form of burgers, in the form of hot dogs. They're not eating a clean steak with a side of avocado. Anyway, if you think I made sense, check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one.